Okay. Ooh. Now you can tell me where I'm supposed to put this. Okay. While she's getting the very short PowerPoint presentation I have with me on the projector, I'd like to say thank you to all of the people everybody else has said thank you to, but most of all, I'd like to say thank you to all of the people that we met and spoke to. And it was truly a pleasure to hear about what people are doing in Estonia, all the great ideas. It's always a pleasure to meet the PhD students because they're always really enthusiastic. So I've had a very good time and I appreciate it very much. This group was just me and Ian McConnell. Ian is more for veterinary sciences, and I'm going to say something about that when I talk about the units of assessment. We had 4 units of assessment. You can see them here. Some of them you've already heard something about in the other groups, natural sciences, technology, etc. The one we had that nobody else visited, I think, was the Estonian Crop Research Institute. We, as Andres said in the beginning, gave everybody a positive evaluation. And it wasn't anything we had to think about for very long because we were very impressed in general. I'll start with them in order. University of Tartu. These were our grades. This one got very good, and very good. I'd just like to point out a few small things. There's much more to be said, but you can all read that in our report. They have a very good cooperation within EU, both in scientific collaborations, but also in policy collaborations. We suggested that they move a little bit into something that we've called ecological intensification. And this is working with agricultural and forestry in a way that you think about the environment and have it much better. But you also have to think about our production goals because we need the products that come out of agriculture and forestry. They have to pay particular attention to PhD student evaluations. We found, unfortunately, on speaking to the PhD students, that not everybody gets treated in exactly the same way. And I think that it's really important to have a director of PhD studies that can say something and make sure that all the PhD students are getting the evaluations they need. We also thought that, or I thought, that they should increase the number of women on the senior staff. It was very interesting to see meeting the senior staff and very large male dominance, and then in come the PhD students, and it's the other way around. And female PhD students, they need role models too. And so if you can think about this in a lot of different ways. Sometimes maybe you can do it internally, or sometimes maybe you should recruit from the outside. We visited the Tallinn University of Technology. Research impact was good. Sustainability and potential satisfactory. The societal importance of research, good. I want to go back to this potential satisfactory, and that has to do with if you're looking at agricultural sciences, they don't do a lot of research that's classified as that. And that means that they're sort of lacking a critical mass. So the funding isn't really good enough to move the potential up to good or very good. But they do have developed areas of plant biology and plant pathology. They have very good collections. This is a biobank of a different kind of virus and fungi. They also have databases on water quality and soil biota. And right now, there's a lot of potential here, but it could be used better. either on-site or in collaboration with some of the other people within Estonia. It was fun. It was interesting to us that here we were at a university of technology, but they didn't seem to be working with technological advances within agriculture. Remote sensing is something that is coming very much in the future and is going to have a lot of impact within agriculture. And just down the way, there were departments that would deal with this. So here within the system, they had a possibility to make better collaborations. And they probably needed to put a little bit more effort into international publications. We visited the Estonian University of Life Sciences. This is something that I'm from the Swedish University of Agricultural Sciences, so we're very familiar with this institution because a lot of people, there is a lot of collaboration with my university. The scientific impact, definitely good. Sustainability and potential, very good. And societal impact is very good. One thing that we found was that there's a lot of very interesting research stations out there in Estonia. There's money put into infrastructure that isn't in Tallinn and isn't in Tartu. And these can be very good for monitoring things that are happening in the environment. And we thought that maybe there could be more cooperation with these research stations because there's a lot of scope for PhD students to go there and work more, and I'll come back to that in the last part here. This is a very good group for EU projects, but they have to aim higher now because they're very good for collaborations and they're partners. But as far as I could see, they weren't getting, or they weren't going in for trying to be the collaborator, the head coordinator of these. And that helps, that raises your status, but it also means that you need a lot of help from administration. I think that we could say, some of the other people have mentioned this internationally, you could have programs to encourage guest scientists from outside of Estonia. And that way you could find new research cooperations. You might offer a nice little scholarship for somebody to come from another country and spend some time. This is already ongoing, but it could be expanded. Now this is the only place where we really had a veterinary sciences. And the vet school is there. Now, just like in Sweden, in Estonia, there's only one vet school. And this is both good and bad. The problem is that you probably don't have as much different kinds of research cooperation that these other places have, because here we have 4 units of assessment that deal with agricultural and forest research. But there's only one veterinary science. And the impression that mostly that Ian got was that there weren't as many links as there could be to research activities. Now I'm talking about education. And one thing, since we just talked about the medical faculties, one big initiative worldwide is One Health. And there's a lot of diseases, there's a lot of comparative disease work where you look at human health and animal health. And we didn't see any kinds of cooperation there. That might be something that could be very interesting for Estonia in the future. The last place we, on our list, it wasn't the last place we visited, was the Estonian Crop Research Institute. Scientific impact satisfactory. I want to say that this is from the previous evaluation, this has gone up. Then you have sustainability and potential of research, it's very good. And finally, societal impact, importance is very good. Everybody said, oh, all of this wonderful infrastructure. Well, when we went to the Estonian Crop Research Institute, unfortunately, they're in the process of building their new research facilities. So we saw a lot of things that are very outdated. So it's very good that they're working on building a new infrastructure. It will be more attractive to working together with the universities. They've made a concerted effort to recruit scientific staff that is more basic, which is something that's come up more than once. The new buildings and equipment will be important. They are very good at communication with stakeholders, which is something that is important and also good in collaboration. And also, we found in this case, they have other duties besides research. And we're talking about outreach, information, work with stakeholders. And this means that when you're being reviewed or evaluated, you have to kind of decide what indicators you're looking at, and also how much of the budget is actually research budget. A lot of the budget may be going to something else. So it's very difficult sometimes to know what the balance is between these different kinds of things. That's what I had to say.